We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. It was good. We are live, man. We are live. Are you right? Hey, everybody. What's happening? I see 0 people watching, but that's okay. There's 4 of us.
It always says that when we first open.
I think there's people waiting. I hope there's people waiting. Man, that was a good episode. Episode number 7, huh?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I thought it was great. And thank you for sharing the single.
Why would you think it was so great this episode? Why would you think this episode, Robby, was so much more special than any other week? I think they're all really special, but why is this one in particular?
I really like your beanie. I think it matches your skin.
Mustard. Yeah. Well, you know what? I think Vic was working on color correction with my skin tone, and all throughout the whole entire show, Vic is like trying to do color correction on my, because we had I used a different camera today to stream with, and that's what I thought was kind of cool. I actually shout out to Lennon Roxie for letting me borrow his
studio
DSLR. Well, yeah, shout out always for letting me use his room. But hey, everybody, how y'all doing? 77 viewers. That's perfect. I just it went down to 69. Damn it. Well, that's a good number. Hello, everybody. I see Mike Usnick. You just gave Vic so much ego.
Thank you, Mike.
Please, let's not have to actually pay him now. Damn it. Come on. There it is. Look at that. That's Mike Usnick.
Yeah.
The Beanie Brothers. Yeah, I love it, man. So anyhow, folks, you were all watching out there. I really appreciate it. It was a good episode to sort of showcase other people, not just me, more about me. What was I going to say? Who's the one doing the? I'm out of the comments now. You guys all.
I'm also out of the comments.
Now. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I just pressed this one, but I don't know why it went back to the one.
Okay, well, because you think you're doing your game show with Robby and Fergus. It ain't like that here, dude. This is cool.
It's a different show, Dave. No, do you know what, Robby? I tried. I wanted Robby to see all the nice things people are saying about him.
Oh, dude, you know what? Put up a bunch of Robby love right now, because everybody loved Robby's video. Look at that. Everybody loved Robby's video, and everybody loves is the new single, Take a Smile. How's it going? Is your hand tired from signing all those EPs, Robby?
Well, you know what? It's been a great response. It was quite overwhelming, and I like, it feels really nice that everyone likes the single and the music video and stuff like that. And the EP,
I like the pop-up.
So,
pop-up video, very cool idea.
Yeah, I hope VH1 don't actually find a budget and come back to mainstream TV and sue me.
Yeah, I mean, is VH1 even a channel anymore? To be honest with you, because I thought that VH1 had done it. Obviously, they used to be sort of the adult MTV when they stopped playing videos, and then they used to be the last of the stations to actually play rock and roll videos. Then it became the Where Are They Now sort of station, where they would do a million of like Where Are They Now and make us all
like
feel
behind the music.
Yeah, behind the music, and yeah. Musicians are always behind something, aren't we? But then what did it become after that? Like when was the last time you watched VH1?
Probably about 10 years ago.
We are the new VH1. YouTube is YouTube. Roxie TV is the new VH1, because in order to get like people that are interesting, rock and rollers, have stories, but also have insight about how to make the business work. That's what we're trying to create over here at Roxie TV. We're trying to create good content. And I think guys like Michael Monroe, that's coming up on next Tuesday. For those of you that didn't hear in the live stream, Michael Monroe next Tuesday on the, God damn, I'm getting lost.
His hair is amazing.
In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie podcast. I should know it because it has my name in the damn title, but In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie podcast. It'll be on the live stream edition this next Tuesday. And again, thank you all for tuning in and supporting and telling friends and enemies about it. Dave, what did you feel about today's shows, being that you're not the one that didn't have a vested interest in today's live stream? Because of course Vic's going to say it's great. Of course Robby's going to say great. Dave, let's get your thoughts.
Don't hold back.
Don't hold back.
No, in all seriousness, it was really good. I really enjoyed Robby's acoustic version of that song. I mean, as a guitarist, I found myself really listening to the guitar. I like a lot of the chords you used. You know, like the song itself is great. You know, we've all heard the song.
Thanks, man.
But I really appreciated like some of the progressions you were using, and maybe that's something you can elaborate on with the other stuff we do. The graphics are looking incredible as well.
Thank you. I was
it's looking
on that.
It's looking really good. Getting it all laid out, ready for today. You know, you must be so uber prepared. You must have like a.
I don't know what he's going to say. I never know what he's going to say. He's going to throw something at me, and so I have to come up with
you have to have it all ready.
Right.
I got I have notes that I sent you.
I know, but you don't always follow them.
I know.
I just think it's a great job that Vic doesn't have another job.
For temporarily.
It's not finals week or anything.
Well, hold on until Nita Strauss calls him.
We're
all out of work.
Hey, I have one more week of class.
And then, of course, Roxie, I did enjoy the fact that you did the 2 versions of the same song. That was a cool idea. That was a cool idea.
Thank you for, well, I mean, I felt, because they're so different. They're polar opposites. You know, one is sort of like this, you know, sensitive, make you cry John Mayer version. Then the other is this, you know, I tried as much to do my best Oasis, you know, impression on the album at least. And then, those two, and somehow those two kind of intertwine at one point. I'm just as much of a fan of John Mayer as I am Noel and Liam Gallagher. So, how about that? What did I want to talk about? Oh, because you alluded to it, Dave, about these types of videos and the type of chord progressions Robby was using. We just now started rolling out the private Facebook Roxie Guitar Army Area 77, coined by Dave R, by the way. Area 77 is a private Facebook group that if you have pledged up on the Kickstarter campaign, then you will be invited this week. We're rolling it out, and some of those videos include things like what type of tuner should you have, what type of practice habits can help you along the way. I even threw in a more intermediate version of Motorhead's Ace of Spades up there, so you should be seeing those. And if you want any more information, check that out. DM any of us, right? So, Robby, talk about those chords and what you were using. I know I call them the Tom Petty chords. You know, you're playing a bar chord, but you're leaving the top 2 strings open. Yeah,
because it just, if you find the right key, which is E, to do that in, it just, everything sounds great. And so it's very pleasing on the ears, and it really fills out when it's just a solo acoustic track. It's like one of these drone notes, isn't it, when an E string drones through. So yeah, that's what's going on there. But
well, if A minor is the saddest of all keys, what is E in Spinal Tap terms? You know?
Wait, what is the saddest of all keys?
I thought A, but doesn't
D
he
minor.
say that?
I thought it was D minor.
What is it? D minor. Okay, Lick My Love Pump. Man. I know the song Lick My Love Pump.
It's his mark piece.
It's like a Roxie
mark piece. Yeah. It's a hornpipe.
It's a hornpipe.
Key of D minor just makes people weep instantly. Why
does it sound so much more authentic when Robby starts doing
weird? I know, it's so weird.
Those guys, I just found out this last week that they had to end up suing the film company that owned Spinal Tap, Canal Studios,
Canal Plus.
Yeah, Canal Plus, who's subsequently owned by HBO or one of those big, huge conglomerates. But up until like 2018, each of them had made less than $1,000 in royalties off of Spinal Tap. So they sued him for like $400 million, and they settled out of court. You know, but are you fucking kidding me? The movie that basically gives us every single career and everything to talk about on a tour bus, but it gives us every single insight of what it's like to be in a rock and roll band. They end up getting, they end up taking it up the rear, just like every other band out there. That's amazing.
They kind of became their own joke.
Yeah, life imitating art, art imitating life, all that stuff.
I read a thing where apparently, like, most rockers of the time found it funny, but someone, I think it was David Coverdale, thought it was a direct jab at him. Like he apparently it was either him or was it David Lee Roth? It was one of the big 80s front guys. They thought it was a direct jab at them, and they walked out of the theater.
I think
that's how real it was.
Well, on the first tour that I ever did with Alice Cooper in '96 with the Scorpions, I literally thought I was watching and living Spinal Tap every night because those guys they're so German, they're so nice to begin with, but then it was so Spinal Tap. The rock and roll of what it is what it is, And I actually know the story of who it's about. Is you know Saxon, the band Saxon?
Yes.
Biff. So apparently the two of the guys, I don't know if it was Christopher Guest, and I'm not sure if it was I don't know their Spinal Tap names or their actor names. I get confused all the time. But two of them went out to hang out with Saxon because they wanted to do research. And I think Saxon thought that it was going to be a serious documentary about rock and roll and heavy metal. And they didn't really realize that they were just getting a lot of the same exact right off the stage going into the script of what happened. So
I honestly, when I first saw that, I really thought they were all British. The accents are that good.
Yeah, it's not like when I was in Glam Nation and Eric Dover was in Glam Nation and Stefan was in Glam Nation. Our accents were horrible. Our English accents were so bad. Actually, Eric Dover's was pretty good. Mine was atrocious, but I don't know. Should we open up the floodgates? Have some people come on if they want to talk about a little bit about the show. They want to talk about their experience with the Roxie Guitar Army. You got the whole team right here. I'm not sure. Did we invite the guys from Voodoo Mansion out to be on it? If you guys, Matthias, Joke, if you guys are watching, or anybody from how about that Voodoo Mansion? You guys got to experience a little bit of a Stockholm rock and roll. What'd you think?
They were good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Cool.
They were good. I really like the guy's voice. He's got a really distinctive voice.
He does, right?
Yeah.
He does. Well, hey, you know what? The first person out that has to go out, because you know her. She's been giving you like some sort of DM at one point this entire week. We got to bring out, the fifth Beatle. I guess that would be Scotty Hagen. The sixth Beatle. Let's bring on Federock, because she was a very, very, very impressive with your promotion as always. Thank you, Federock. Somebody, you got to unmute your microphone.
Yeah,
somebody's got to do that. As long as you unmute your microphone, you'll be able to talk. Yeah, that's okay. It's all good. And there she is, Federock. Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello. So great to see you again.
Nice to see you as well.
Yeah, awesome show. And thank you, Robby, for your EP.
Yes.
That I get in the email, the code to download it.
Yes.
And,
basically,
really
due to the whole COVID. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I just said it.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna.
We're supposed to be free. We're supposed to be free, but it's okay. I mean, every once in a while.
But due to the situation, I wanted to. Who knows? I'm still waiting on stuff that I ordered from America. I hope the EPs come to everyone as soon as possible. But in case there is a bit of a delay, I wanted to get the download codes to you guys so you can hear the EP as soon as possible. So thank you so much for supporting it as well.
No problem. It's a great idea. And I don't know, the week went so fast. I want to also congratulate for hosting Ryan Roxie in the trenches.
Yeah, in the trenches. The whole thing. That's right. Robby, actually, did I even mention that I was my own guest?
No, I don't think you did. That's so weird. I thought
that was last week.
You mentioned it. Yeah.
It seems like a lifetime ago.
It was so great. I love it.
If any of you are out there watching, please hit subscribe or Vic will punch me. And on top of that, go rewatch the broadcast of the In the Trenches live stream that happened last Tuesday. It'll prepare you for next Tuesday, where Robby Miller interviewed amazing guests he had on this week. So just go check it out.
Humble as well.
And humble. Oh, hey.
It was a great episode.
Stay humbled or be humbled.
It was a good episode.
It was good.
And I read it on a t-shirt.
The problem is there was too much. You've had too much of a career, Ryan. You know, we glossed over, like, I have people like, you didn't mention this. You don't. So, you know,
too much metal for one hand.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, it's funny. I had so I set up the interview with the guy in Birmingham, and he rang up and was like, "Where do I start?"
Yeah,
and I was, and I had to give him a few notes just to kind of go, "Well, here's the things you need to get in." But he was the same. He said he's had such a career. Where do I start?
Let's explain a little bit more what Dave was doing. Dave has been pimping me out this last week because we've actually, because of you guys that are all watching and been watching the podcast and been watching the live streams, we have all gotten a lot of attention, whether it's on the good old Instagram and or anything else, and we've gotten a lot of attention to do other shows as well. So obviously the Voice It show has called you guys on to all be guests, except maybe Robby. Have you been on to be a guest? Oh, not Dave. Okay. So
no, I think I've got to work my career up a little bit more, and then I might get a DM.
You got that EP coming out, baby. So we've been doing a bunch of other. At least I've been busy doing a bunch of other podcasts and talking about the System 12 and all that kind of stuff. So this was a cool interview that I was asked to do, and yeah, he was great. It'll come out. Right, it'll come out in the next week or so, and I talked a lot about Slash a Snake Pit and that. I kind of spilled my guts about the whole Alice Cooper thing. So we'll be putting up a
lot of those links you can find to the videos are on ryanroxie.com/news. So you can go back and find all the podcasts and things that Ryan's been a part of.
So quick. Well, hey, you know what? Federock right there. Just so you know, the face behind the DM that you're going to get eventually this week to make you go to see the Michael Monroe live stream. Yeah. And also I think we're going to also have another one following Tuesday that's already booked. And should we spill the beans right now? Chuck Garrick from Bisto Blanco. Chuck Garrick will be our special guest. What day is that? That's so far into the future. It's May
next 12th? Tuesday.
Yeah, is it May 12th?
I don't know.
Well, if you just say May 5th and then you add 7, I think that would be 12. I mean, I'm not an accountant.
Yep. Good.
Is that pretty good?
Pretty good with that math.
There you go. May 12th, we got Chuck from Bisto Blanco, Chuck Garrick, as well as the Droots. And then May 5th, of course, Michael Monroe. Federock, thanks for coming by. And
bye,
we'll
guys.
see you again.
Thank you,
Federica.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Ciao.
Let's see who's on the chat here. Debbie Moeller, Olga, Funky Almadena's out there.
I've seen a question.
Go ahead.
I've seen a question that I think is a great question that I really think we should address.
What's that? I'm 64, never played an instrument. Can I get into guitar at this point? Earl Morse, first thing you got to do is get a profile picture, because right now, unless that is your actual picture, and you know what, we got to give you a personality.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to work on that, and we will. Playing guitar will immediately change that. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Earl Morse, being 64 is the perfect time to start guitar. Anytime, whatever day you feel is the day for you to start your guitar journey, that's the day to go check out our Kickstarter campaign, because you'll start learning a song the very next day, or is one of us sends you the PDF file.
Well, and the great thing about these videos, you can stop them, you can play them at different speeds, you can learn at your own speed. It's great. So it's perfect for somebody like that.
And you're going to have a bunch of downloading. You can download the backtracks. How about that? We're going to have that available as an option. Yep. It's a lot of cool stuff going on. So, you know what? 64, 84, 24, 14, don't matter. You guys pick a number and start playing guitar. I'm good with that.
Well, one thing I would say is just because you're 64, don't think of it as a linear journey. You know, if all you want to do is play a few songs, no one's expecting you to be Jimi Hendrix. You're never too old to just learn a few songs and just jam out at home and enjoy it for your own benefit. No one's going to make you get on stage. No one's going to make you perform or compete with anyone. So
you know what? You do not have to start with an acoustic. An electric guitar is fine. I know that Robby has taught a lot of people starting on electric or acoustic. It doesn't matter. Whatever makes you feel like you need to want to play guitar longer, whatever fits well in your hand.
I found electric a lot easier than acoustic because the acoustic tore my fingers up, and I tried it for a long time and never quite got it. Switched to electric and still don't have it, but I'm getting there.
Can I also?
I'm gonna get.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I want to debunk a myth while we're here.
Okay, debunk.
I know Dave will have this all the time because Dave does, works in a guitar store. I worked in a guitar store for 10 years or so. One thing I heard all the time was, I need to have this kind of guitar because my hands are too small. Or everyone comes. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, the more excuses you give yourself before you start learning the guitar, you're just not gonna make that first step. So it doesn't matter what age you are, doesn't matter how big or small your hand is. It doesn't matter if you start on acoustic or electric. You just need to start. You just need to start today.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the bottom line. If you feel that your hand is too small for a guitar neck, start playing the banjo and see how popular you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have a volume.
Yeah, go ahead.
We should just introduce and now we've actually got a new Kickstarter campaign called Ryan Banjo Army, and it
doesn't roll off the tongue as good. The RBA.
The RBA.
I love it. So hey, you know what? Let's get someone on that hasn't been on before. James Visser. As long as you don't show us your pee-pee, you're going to be allowed on the show. All right? Is that cool? What's up, James? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you, man?
What's going down, dude? I saw you had a guitar neck there. So are you part of the Roxie Guitar Army or what?
In spirit. I'm not signed up yet, but I've been playing for a long time. I've been playing since I was about 14. I met you back in 1998 at NAMM.
Wow.
Yeah, and
GMP days.
Yeah. In fact, I got a signed copy of Daddy's Porno Mag.
All right. There you go.
The original cover.
An original. That's the original cover.
Yeah, you were really friendly back then, and one of the friendlier. I met Ace Frehley there, and Gene Simmons, and
next to Ace Frehley and Gene Simmons, I'm like Mother Teresa over there. I was in like Gandhi. Is that friendly?
Yeah, I'm a big Kiss fan. I got a tattoo of Ace on my arm. I think your playing is quite similar to Ace's. Those unison bends you did on that last song,
similar.
and
dude. If you listen closely, I was just a little bit off, and that's the way Ace Frehley always played. Just a little bit off to be rock and roll, which is the reason why I play that Cherry Burst Les Paul, because that Cherry Burst Les Paul I finally found after years and years. It was in Russia, and it reminded me of Ace Frehley, and I wanted that guitar. So that's a 1978 Les Paul Pro. There you go. So thanks, man. I mean, where are you calling from? Are you from St. Louis?
No, I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, actually. I'm a Arizona Cardinals fan, but yeah, in Michigan, I love Larry Fitzgerald. I know you're a Raiders fan, right?
I am a Raiders fan, but you know what? No, there's nobody that doesn't like Larry Fitzgerald. Is he still going to be in the league this year? Has he got one more year left?
Yeah. He does these year-to-year contracts. Hopefully, they're going to play this year, obviously, with everything going on. But
there's too much hype going on. If they're gonna do NASCAR, they'll do NFL. Trust me. You know.
I do got a comment of talking about acoustic guitar versus electric. I have what I play is a Chet Atkins. I'm sure you're familiar with it. That solid body. See if I can show it to you here. I'm still getting used to this. It's the solid body Chet Atkins.
It's nice, man.
Yeah, that's
Piazza pickup, and you plug it into an acoustic amp, and then it sounds like an acoustic, but it plays like an electric. That's kind of what I do. I have a twin brother, and we do this kind of, I call it the John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora circa the Wanted Dead or Alive MTV thing or whatever, kind of like that.
They're not brothers. That would have been Richie Bon Jovi, and that would have never worked.
But I mean, it's kind of that, that's where we got inspired to kind of do that. We don't have a drummer. It's just, he plays a Taylor acoustic Koa body.
Is that Chet Atkins a Gibson, or is it a different one?
No, it's a Gibson. It's from, go ahead.
Well, I just remembered that with the Chet Atkins model was always a Gibson, but I thought he had made another one with a different company, but I wasn't entirely sure.
Well, I think he. Well, I have a Gretsch, the 6120 Nashville.
There you go.
The big hollow body.
Yeah.
You know, that he originally played, I think, back in the early '60s or whatever. This is from like these Chet Atkins came out, I think, in the early 2000s or so. I don't think they even make them anymore, but they play great. They don't sound, you know, they definitely don't sound like a true acoustic, but it's kind of nice because when him and I play, he's got that Taylor that gives that, you know, natural acoustic sound, and then this has got a little bit, you know, it cuts through a little bit better. So with solos and stuff, the notes just kind of ring out, and it does have a little bit more bass to it.
Your point being that it doesn't matter if it's an acoustic or electric to start off with. If you take a Chet Atkins, it can be both.
Right. Yeah. And it's, if you want an acoustic sound, but maybe your fingers aren't quite strong enough to, you know, because some acoustic guitars can be kind of harder to play. I heard somebody say that earlier. This kind of gives you an acoustic sound, but it's a little easier to. Yeah. Exactly.
There you go.
Very cool.
Well, thanks, James. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you again on another sort of, one of these Q&As and stuff. Thanks for hanging on, and thanks for being an honorary member of the Roxie Guitar Army. We'll let you in, man. You like NFL, you like a guitar, you like Chet Atkins. Come on, you're in. Thanks for coming on. Awesome. Let's bring on some of the RGA sort of faithful. I know that Kinga's there, and I see that Lily McCartney, she's RGA all the way. Kinga and Lily, come on the show. Come on. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi, Lily. Hi, guys. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Just wondering if each of you or any of you, either of you, had a question for myself, Vic, Dave, or Robby.
I have a question.
Yep. Kinga, you go first. Kinga, you go first.
I wanted to finish conversation with you from last week.
What is that?
Yeah.
What would you tell to a person who wants to give up guitar because it's too difficult?
I tell them to go immediately to our Kickstarter campaign because, I see you practicing it every single day and going for it. And I see that you have actually made your cowboy chords, your first position chords, not so difficult, right? So it doesn't.
No.
And honestly, because you are part of that upper echelon that's going to be invited to that private Facebook group, I know that Robby has a video out with some practice tips on how to get those chords memorized and stuff that's going to help. Rob, do you have any other ideas about, getting someone inspired instead of uninspired?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I might have mentioned last time is just making sure that you're playing, you're playing songs that you like and you're listening to music that you're inspired by. I think sometimes sort of learning scales up and down can sort of be mind numbing. And that's an angle that we don't necessarily come from with the System 12 course. We sort of start straight off at the cool riffs and some cool songs, and we come from that way of. But
I always try to break it up into. I try to break it up into two parts. I try to break up your practice because you need to eventually do some of those motor skills. So have a certain amount of your practice that's going to be dedicated to motor skills, whether it is those boring scales or something you can just do when you're kind of watching TV or watching our show or whatever you want to do. And those are the motor skills where you got to get your head and your hand in sync to know what they're doing. But then you got to involve the heart sometimes. And this is where you get really inspired. And I call that the creative time of playing. And that's the time where you can really be inspired to write a song or a riff or some sort of, something that's going to actually take your heart into your playing as well and eventually make your style. So make sure you have time for imagining that reality and make sure you set aside time for the motor skills as well.
Also, don't take on producing a web TV show because it will take you away from practicing. My guitar is picking up dust over here in the corner. I joined this Roxie Guitar Army and I can't even play guitar.
You know what, Vic?
You won't do it for you.
Vic, you won't with that attitude. You got to turn it on to more of a positive spin, okay? You can produce a web show and play guitar, Vic. I believe in you.
I appreciate that, Robby.
We all believe in you.
Take a smile.
Yeah,
just
take a smile.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Hey, Lily, did you have a question for us?
Oh, no, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say hi.
Hello, Lily. How you doing? Lily
nice.
is actually a bass player, but she also you're also taking on the guitar as well, yes?
I've been playing guitar before I played bass, actually.
Aha. Okay. Do you what a lot? Well, because this is interesting. A lot of people take on the guitar after they've started learning the bass. What was the decision for you to go to the bass? Employment?
I joined the band as a guitarist, but then our bassist left, and I don't know. It was just we thought that finding a new guitarist was easier than finding a new bassist because there are hardly any bassists around. And I also thought that playing bass was easier, and it kind of is because there are only four strings, and you don't have to play chords. You only play single notes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you want to gig and you want to gig in a band faster than getting a gig as a guitar player, start playing bass right now. And the 12, the System 12 guitar method is perfect for that because we start with the one finger, and then with even when we concentrate basically on the 6th and 5th strings with the System 12, whereas the bass it would be the 4th and 3rd. But it's the same. It's the same notes. Just so when we say 6th string, if you're playing bass, it would just be the 4th string, right? I mean, you just have to make that little mental switch because unless, Dave, you want to come up with a whole entire bass course, do you want to do that?
Well, I mean, there's only one bass player I know in this well, other than Lily, of course, and I think that's Mr. Planet Axe Bass. I think he's the man for the bass course.
There he is.
It might happen.
Why
also,
not?
I like all the posters on your wall there, Lily. Are they all? The whole room's covered in posters.
Yeah, that are actually my dad's posters. He bought them when he was a teenager.
Oh, nice.
So those are all posters from the 70s.
I think I see a Michael Monroe back there.
No, Michael Monroe isn't up there, but Ryan's on that wall.
Oh.
Thank you.
From the 70s.
From the side.
I made the wall that's not seen. I made the non-showing wall. Great.
Ryan's above the guitars, of course.
There's a comment here that I kind of wanted to ask the question while Lily and King are in, because I think, well, Lily, I'm hoping you've got a good answer for this.
Here we go. Have any of you been in anyone's fan club? I used to be in the Partridge Family's fan club. Wow. Okay, go ahead. Have you been in anybody's fan club, Kinga or Lily?
No.
All right. I think I was in. I felt I was in the Kiss Army. I felt that as I was for a time, but I don't know if Cheap Trick had a fan club back in the day, but if they would have, I would have gladly been in on that.
I was in the Steve Martin fan club.
Really?
That's very short time.
Did you have an ID card? Did you have like a?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh man. Okay, here's a good question that we can sort of offshoot on that. Have you ever wrote a fan letter to someone that you were like sort of enamored by, and I'm not talking an email, an actual fan letter to somebody, because I did. I wrote a fan letter to
Charlie's Angels.
No, the lead singer of Till Tuesday, Amy Mann, because we had played a show with her when I was playing. First started out in Los Angeles. I played in a band called Jeff Scott, and we opened up for them 2 shows. And afterwards, I wrote a sort of a fan letter saying how great it was to play with them, and I never got a response. So, Robby, did you ever write a fan letter? Besides me, you wrote me one this morning.
Huh?
I said emails don't count, so it's cool.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I have not. I've only ever written emails. But I did email the lead singer of Fountains of Wayne, who I'm a huge fan of, and he never emailed me back.
Is that the guy that recently passed away?
No, that was the bass player.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of bass players, but
yeah.
I wrote one.
What was that?
And I appreciated that, Dave. I really did like it. I'm sorry I didn't reply.
Boom!
Yeah,
Which is funny, Vic, because you usually reply to everyone's emails.
Yeah, it's not Dave.
Well,
Coffee Talk Slam.
My one was kind of boring if you're not into it, but the short version is the original Bela Lugosi Dracula was the very first talking horror film after the silent era. And when I was doing my college dissertation, my final project, I wrote it on Universal Studios Monsters and The Bride of Frankenstein. And I heard that the woman who speaks the very first lines, who was about 20 at the time, was still alive at 102 years old and would answer you if you wrote to her. So I wrote to her like about this dissertation, you know, didn't get a reply for a while. And then on my very last day, I left my last exam, got the bus home, got in and thought, I finished university. It's all done. There was an envelope and a handwritten note, I've still got it, that just says, congratulations on finishing university, signed by her. My last day of uni.
Wow.
That's nice.
Very cool.
That's the one I've ever written. And I've never done it since because you'll never get a result like that again.
You're 1 for 1. Why would you do it again?
Yeah.
Exactly.
All of us are 0 for 1s or 0 for 2s or whatever like that. Vic, you ever you write Steve Martin?
No.
There's a banjo player right there. If you want to.
Did you ever meet Steve Martin?
No, but I did photograph him from a distance.
Oh, okay.
But he's very kind of reclusive. It seems like he leaves the show, immediately jumps on the bus, and he's out of there or in the.
That was Vic's former career as a stalker.
Yeah,
current career. Now he's just completely in with us, you know, and obviously not being able to learn guitar. Lily and Kinga, thank you for coming on this week. Again, we'll see you again, and we'll pick up the conversation again. Your invites for the private Facebook group will be going out this week, so we'll see you then. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I see a couple people that have not been in before.
Roxy, we need to bring on one. Ludovica is on here, and she has. She's Glenn Sobel's big fan from Italy.
Okay.
Oh, Elle. Yeah, bring Elle on.
Yeah.
Hello. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, congratulations for your new music, Robby.
Thank you very much. Yes,
you see me? I was like already thinking the thank you. I was like, yeah, well,
but I already met you in Turin. We already met,
you're old
Ryan.
news, man.
Yeah.
I was backstage with Federica in Turin.
Oh,
nice to see you.
I just want to thank you guys for the great show, because even though I'm not a guitarist, I'm a drummer actually. I've been drumming for 7 years. I find this so attractive that I don't miss any episode of Roxie TV shows.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much. You know what? We almost didn't let you on because I thought when you first said it was Little Adika. That's what I thought you said.
No, Ludovica.
Okay, I thought you said Little Adika, and I was like, no, I can't handle the big Adika. It's a Little Adika.
Is that why in the messages you said
it's right down here?
All right. Oh, I see Glenn Sobel Italia.
Yeah.
It's so sweet of you.
So I'm guessing this is why you said to just call you Elle when you come on, rather than your whole
my
name.
name is quite difficult, so call me Al.
Well, thank you for coming on and supporting Robby. I'm sorry, Robby, you're going to talk?
No, I was just saying, how do you say your name? Is Ludovica?
Ludovica.
Ludovica, yes.
In Italian, we write as we speak. We don't have any weird pronunciation.
Okay.
You write exactly what you read.
Okay. This is perfect.
So,
great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, your EP is in the post, by the way.
Yeah.
I just saw something that came up for the first time.
I received the emails and the vocal message. I was like, oh.
Great. Well, let me know what you think.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for bringing me on.
I just saw it too.
Have a nice one. I'm gonna take you off the screen right now because I want to, because we've never had this happen before. It's the first time it's happened, and I guess we're gonna be really excited because each of us got $5. How about that? The Wenches from Debbie Muller just donated $20 to us. So there's 4 of us there. That's the way it goes. And at this
hey guys,
point,
I can't wait to eat some food tonight.
yeah.
Take out. No, but thank you very much, Debbie, and thank you very much, the Wenches, the In the Trenches Wenches just donated because it's the first week that we have decided to add this feature on, and it's one of the first weeks that we're doing it. I don't know if you guys even know this, but we are broadcasting on Twitch as well.
Oh.
So
I
I
didn't know
joined
that.
up Twitch. There it is. That's our new sort of format. If anybody is into the Twitch, please check out the twitch.tv.
In the Twitches.
In the Twitches.
It's on the internet.
Well,
I think.
It's on the internet.
I'm trying to give a real, you know what? I'm trying to give a real hashtag layover because you don't have one prepared. It would be twitch.tv/Ryan Roxie. I think that is it. All right. Sorry. If you'd like to go back to practicing guitar, Vic. Twitch. Wow.
You gotta have thick skin around here.
Oh, you gotta have thick skin, huh?
Gotta have the thick skin.
It's all good. You know what? Let's get a couple of our faithfuls that come on. And she's when she's not landing airplanes, she's listening to Roxie TV. There it is. Liz the vampire. Hello. What are you doing? Nice to see you.
Not much. I love your new EP song, by the way, Robby. It was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've started to share it to people, and I'll just blast in my car speakers going downtown because it's just so great.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you really enjoyed it, and it was fun to do the acoustic version of it as well for today.
So. Oh yes, that was really good. I loved that, and I liked how Roxie did the 2 different versions of the song. That was awesome too.
Thank you for thank you very much for noticing that. I mean, I thought that you and Dave were the only ones that were going to check it out, but no, I just feel there's so polar opposites that why not try it, you know?
Yeah, just for something different. And Dave, I'm glad you got the hair back.
Yeah, me too. It needs to come back.
I was started calling you the hairless rat because you was just bald.
Naked rat.
Naked rat.
Naked rat is even better. I like hairless better. Yeah, I just want to thank you guys and whatnot. And Vic, you're awesome. Like I mentioned you because you really help out a lot.
Come on back.
You see what happens when Vic's not on the screen. We don't know what to do. We're all completely lost. But Liz, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna talk to you later on this week, right? I'm gonna bring on someone that just did something insane with this super sticker thing. I'm still a little bit blown away by how this happens. But Liz, we'll see you next week. All right,
Liz.
at some point. Thanks for coming.
No problem. Thank you,
Robby. We'll see you soon. I'm gonna bring on real quick. Check this out. There she is. There's Kitty. but check this out, guys. There she is. Kitty did a $79.99. Like we were a product. Yeah, you can get it all for just $79.99.
That's so nice of you,
Kitty Oates. Thank you very much for being a super sticker, whatever the hell that means. I appreciate it. But
no.
What is a super sticker?
It was a sticker thing, so I just thought I'd post it. I don't really know what I'm doing at the moment. This bottle right here was.
The reason why you donated $79.99, I think.
I got $79.99. No, I'm all good. I'm just, little happy, little. Robby, your single is amazing.
Thank you.
Wait for 2-3 months or year, whatever, how long.
2 years. Plan on 2 years. It'll be there. I mailed it out yesterday. By the way, I said to the post office, send this to Australia. And they said, send it to Kitty Oates in Australia. And I said, exactly. And then now it's on its way.
Vic, are you checking out?
I'll get it eventually.
Kitty,
thank you.
Is that a guitar pick? Wenches in the Trenches. Are you guys looking at that? Look at the logo. Wenches.
I saw that. That's cool.
This was the surprise I was talking about, right?
I love it.
It was designed by Lynn with input from Alex and Wendy, I believe.
Kudos, guys. I love it. And but I think it's a bass. Is that a bass?
That's Fender Jazz.
Let's get Lily back on to see if it's a bass or not. I'm joking. I love it. Come on.
Of some sorts.
He's always like that. So critical.
To yours as much as we could, to the yellow. So
yeah.
No,
it looks great.
Designed it, and I'm really happy with it. So.
Are we getting them made? Are we getting them made up?
We might have to
contact Omega.
We'll have to have a T-shirt for it so we can advertise you guys wherever when all this silly, crazy, lockdown is finished, we'll have to make a t-shirt out of it so we can advertise you guys everywhere we go. And it's not just you, Ryan, it's all of you guys.
No, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, you guys are amazing.
We might as well as just call this the Robby Miller after show Q&A. You know,
yeah,
it is his week.
It's all about
fair.
Robby
It is
this
fair,
week, isn't it?
It's what a team. Look at this team. What an amazing team that I've developed and created, and I just want to thank you guys for being a part of this. It's really cool.
Robby, do you know all about Street Team?
Do I know about Street Team?
Yeah, do you know what that involves?
Tell me more.
It's basically doing what we do already over the internet, just promoting and whatnot, but doing it physically, like going out and posting posters and handing out flyers and whatnot. So, you know what? We'll get you noticed down here in Australia.
Thank you. When you're allowed to go and do that.
Yeah, of course. Apparently by the 7th.
Okay.
7th of May, apparently they're lifting restrictions. So I don't know what that means, but our Prime Minister's a weirdo. So yeah, who knows?
It's a good idea, though.
I love it.
But yeah, shout out to all my wenches, man. You know, you guys are awesome. Love you guys, and love all
Thank
you
you
guys
all
here on the screen as well.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Kitty.
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you
everybody
so
in the
much.
wenches.
Debbie, me, Lynn, Stefan Sorka. Hang on, who am I missing?
Do you guys have your own private group, like chat group as well on Facebook? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. There's a whole other world that we have no idea that goes on once in between coffee talk and like in
we
the
don't
podcast.
talk coffee talk on this show, Ryan. We don't talk coffee talk.
We don't swear here, Ryan.
Maybe that's the C word that we're talking about. Hey! Well, thanks for coming on, Kitty. I appreciate it, and thank you very much for the $79.99.
Yeah,
you could have made it one more penny, but it's okay. You know.
It's the highest I can bid, apparently. So
thank you very much, darling.
you.
We'll see you.
I'm gonna go put my drunk self to bed. So
we'll see you again. Vic, you control that. I'm looking at this. Ashley O'Neill put in 50 pounds.
What?
And I'm trying to look for the. Wow. Thank you very much,
That's
Ashley.
awesome.
Thank you so much for that. And wow, this whole like I said, super chat or whatever the thing we decided to do this week. So far, yeah, we're more than baked beans. We're marked than a can of beans this week for guys.
So this question pop up and thought that was kind of a good question.
Right.
We
Well,
also
what was
got
it?
that or that.
Okay, can we go back to the other question? Thank you very much, Danielle, by the way. Can we go back to that question? Ryan, do you use your thumb on the 6th string for some bar chords? I never do. Although when you watch me play, I kind of get lazy because I do tend to pick my thumb over. But when I teach, I always try to tell people to put their thumb down. Robby, I know you probably do the same sort of thing. Like it's one of those things that after a bunch of years of playing, you can get your thumb to maybe crawl over and be a little bit lazy. That's fine. But I never use it as a note. Do you?
No. I think you might only ever do that if you like, you know, with them D chords with an F sharp in the bass.
Never.
But
I do an inversion like that.
Would you really? Oh, I wouldn't do that. I would use my thumb for that. But yeah, I'm the same as you. I always try and get people to bring their
well, that's the reason we're not friends anymore.
The thumb down onto the middle of the neck here, you know.
All right.
You know what, Ryan? Out of everyone here, I think I'm your best friend.
You kind of are.
I kind of am.
You're the one non-turncoat. Look at this.
Yeah.
Once again, this is our side. This is
Your
all
camera's really
Roxie all
good,
the
Robby,
time.
because you can't even see how brown your nose is from this angle.
Hey, but do you know what? Do you know what, Vic? If you get your nose a little brown, you sell some EPs.
Okay. Wait a second. I mean, 50 pounds, Ashley O'Neill, and then Troy Brewer, $77. Thanks for the weekly entertainment.
So nice.
Love you guys.
Thank
you very much, Troy Brewer. You are a champion. Where are you at? I know, Troy. I'm going to get you on the show one time. Troy is the pick collector of the Midwest and probably the United States. If you want him to, you probably had conversations with him, huh, Dave R?
Oh yeah. Me and Troy used to talk a lot. Yeah, his collection is insane. He's got stuff I didn't even know existed.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he's got picks that I haven't even made yet.
Yeah, he probably has.
Well, hey, let's do a double shot. Let's get Franzi and Jade, because I know they've been waiting for a long time to be on, and they're great as always.
Jade just froze up.
Hey.
What's up, Jade? Hey, Franzi, how you doing, doll? And what's happening?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good.
Cool. Do you have a question or a very nice compliment for Robby or myself or Dave?
No, since Dave mentioned it, I'm really a retro horror fan as well, and I wanted to know, like, what's sort of your favorite period of horror movies, since you spoke about like the 40s and 50s, or like what's your favorite decade, and what did you write your final uni stuff, your bachelor, whatever it was, your thesis about?
Wow. I could do a whole show on this. I literally have a degree in it.
Watch it.
Yeah, well, maybe we should talk. But yeah,
there you
basically,
go. It's your own show right now.
Yeah, so basically, my favorite era is that sort of 30s universal horror. It came a lot from the German Expressionism. If you ever see a film, it's a very old black and white film called Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It's one of the first horror films. It's also the first twist ending, so I won't say anything about what happens. That was in a style called German Expressionism, which then went over to the States, and that very gothic escapism thing really came into horror films. And the reason I like those films is because if you look at them about the time when they were released, you'd had the stock market crash. You were in the period between World War I and World War II. People wanted to escape from their lives. So that's when all the horror was very fantasy. There was the Frankenstein with the electrodes and vampires. And then, of course, 80s horror's cool. You can't beat a bit of Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger is one of my favorite film series. And Psycho. Hitchcock Psycho. Everyone thinks of Hitchcock as a mystery guy, but when you look at Psycho, there's so many things in that film which are now staples of horror films. So there you go. If I had to pick three. Oh, and to answer your question, my actual dissertation was a study of The Bride of Frankenstein and how it was the first sequel.
Oh, that's cool. I actually wanted to go as Bride of Frankenstein to a horror con, but I cut my hair, so...
Oh, you'd look cool with the Elsa Lanchester thing going on, and
yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I would have loved that.
I think Frozen 2 is a really good movie.
Scary.
Yeah. It's about as much horror as I can take.
I see a new show on Roxy TV. I see a new show on Roxy TV right now. A horror show about horror movies hosted by Dave and Franzi. There it is.
We can do it.
Has so much time now. He can produce another show.
I'd also want to get Rob Lane on it as well.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Rob Lane does that kind of stuff.
He is the movie man. He is the guy.
All right.
Yeah, he is.
The three of us, man.
That's a good idea. All right. Well, Franzi, thank you very much for the question. Jade,
Thanks,
did you have a question today? What's happening, Jade?
Nothing. I got my bass tattoo from a long time ago.
Oh,
there it is, a bass clef.
See it?
Yeah, I see the bass clef. You know, who's
got that?
Go ahead.
I went to Lone Wolf. Ben Dixon did it, and I wanted to get like my dad, so I got my bass clef tattoo just like him.
Very cool.
Nice, man. You know who else has a bass clef for a tattoo? Greg Smith of the Alice Cooper Band. When we played, you know, that lineup, it was the Brutal Planet lineup, I think, and he actually got a bass clef tattoo when we were in Salt Lake City, Utah, designed by Calico Cooper. Wow. True story, because he didn't know.
Cool.
Everybody was so drunk that night, including myself, and the only person that didn't get a tattoo was me. But then, you know, Greg was like, I gotta get a tattoo. What should we have? And then Calico designed a bass clef because he plays bass. Wouldn't it? Wow. See,
Robby, do you have the tattoo?
I do. I actually have a treble clef tattoo.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
He did. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, on the same arm.
All right. Well, I can see that Franzi has a sword.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little dagger actually. Alice drew it last year in September on Friday the 13th.
Wow.
Wow.
So there it is. Tattoo stories.
I'm
Another
getting
option.
ready for my.
So who here hasn't got a tattoo? Just so the top row.
The whole top row,
row.
really? You know who else doesn't have a tattoo? Everyone thinks he does. Alice Cooper.
Really?
Because he's afraid of needles.
Huh?
Because he's afraid of needles.
Me
And
too.
so am I. I'm horrified. I don't like to get my blood taken either. It's none of that stuff. So top row, that's it, man.
I'm getting ready for my. I'm getting ready for my graduation pretty soon, and I'm waiting to hear about if I'm getting to do it or not.
All right. Well, don't get
So I'm hearing on that.
Don't get a diploma tattoo. Don't have your whole diploma
I
put
won't.
on there.
I promise.
Well, thank you, Jay. Thank you, Franzi, for coming on the show. I'm going to have to actually sort of shut it down because guess what?
We have one more that we have to bring on.
We have someone we need to bring on.
Someone who has
I know. I just want to say thank you real quick to those guys before you gave them the hook, Vic. You gave Franzi and Jay the hook again. Thank you guys very much for coming on. We'll see you next week, I hope, for episode 8, doing it.
I need to design a better one of that.
But because we do the Q&A afterwards, and it does tend to run over time I'm in Stockholm. I'm like way ahead of everybody except for the people that are watching from Australia. By the way, Kitty, thank you. Anyway, it's dinner time for me. So if you guys have stayed up all night, if you're in Australia, or you're just having your lunch right now somewhere in the States or somewhere in the middle, thank you so much for watching all week, all day, you watched the live stream earlier. Now you're watching the Q&A. I know we have a couple more people to come on, Vic, but I just want to say thank you to the people that donated on that super chat. It was something that we had never done before. And
very nice.
Wow. Blew us away. And if you're watching on Twitch, it's the first time we've ever done that. So thanks for checking that out. And Vic, that's an amazing logo that you found. You should do that more. But who did we need to bring on right now? Just to
another Beatle.
We need to. Oh my God,
Scotty Bellacci.
The team is complete, folks.
Wow.
Screenshot it. Screenshot right now. Everybody screenshot. All right. If you got it, I'm doing my whole piece thing. Everything. Hey.
That was great.
Oh wait, I don't know if it's going to show how many viewers it on. We had more at one point. We really did.
They all left.
Hey, Scotty. For those of you that might not know, this is Scotty Bellacci. He owns Bellyache Records, which Tommy Hendrickson affectionately calls Bellacci, and that's how Scotty's got his name. But he's going to be very important in the Roxie Guitar Army once we start handing out those rewards and stuff. And Ashley, another 50. Wow. What? Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. The whole team gets fed tonight, except you, Scotty. No, you're rolling in the you're rolling in the bucks there at Bellyache Records, aren't you?
Right. Well, I'm fortunate enough to still have a job right now, so I did eat this morning.
That's good.
What was that?
Well, how do you think the record industry, the vinyl industry, is going to go now that during these times? Do you think you're going to end up being more busy in the next year?
I would hope so, but there was already one problem pending before this whole thing happened. And back in January, there's a plant in California I think it's called Apollo, and they make the lacquer discs that they need to make the stamping plates for records from. And this plant makes, I think, half the discs for the world, and they burnt down to the ground.
Yeah.
Which they were saying that by like midsummer to like the fall, there wouldn't be enough lacquer discs to go around. So hopefully someone steps up and starts making new discs, or else we're not going to be able to make records, or at least not be able to turn around as quickly as we have.
I know a lot of them are getting outsourced to Europe and then getting them back, because the plates, the actual plate manufacturers are few and far between in the States. Huh?
Right. Yeah, definitely. In fact, like with plating alone, unless a plant has like plating with in-house, there's only one company that I know of on the East Coast that does plating. And for a long time, that was the bottleneck. When everyone was trying to put out their music on vinyl, they had to wait for these guys to plate their discs, and they were coming back problematic because they were trying to churn out more than they had in years. And I suffered from that a few times too, where I kept getting a record back and it was super noisy because the plating was bad.
Hey, if you guys like the way that Imagine Your Reality sounded, or any of Tommy Hendrix's records, or any of Roxy 77's records, but especially Imagine Your Reality, because the new single is out, that's the reason why. Because I know you sent that album back a couple times.
3 times.
Yeah, but you got it right. And everybody, he's the man responsible for the vinyl sounding so good. And I know Robby at one point is going to have his EP or his next, when it turns into a full-fledged album, pressed up in vinyl. I know it's going to happen.
That's
for
the
you.
goal.
Yeah.
And we know people that know people. I don't want to talk about my whole vinyl venture right now because it's a little bit premature, but I'll be talking about it pretty soon. I'm a little bit of an owner of a vinyl company myself these days, so I will talk about that later. But I think that's a seed for another show. Yeah. Just look how many great ideas have come.
I want to know more about this.
Yeah. Well, it's called the Nashville Vinyl Company. They actually have the website out right now, but I have a smidgen of that company, and because I believe in vinyl and I believe in the whole process of the idea of listening to music as an experience, not just hearing it on your iPhone.
Can I ask one more question about that, Ryan? Sure. When you were because you've had your music and been on releases that have been on all kinds of formats. For me, growing up, it was only ever I had the last couple of years of cassettes, but mainly CDs. Right. When you were releasing music in the 90s, or when you were on albums in the 90s, did you ever really think? I know vinyl never really went away, but did you ever really think it would have this much of a revival?
Resurgence. Well, we were the band I was in called Electric Angels. It was on Atlantic Records. We were the last band to be pressed up as a vinyl record. Wow. If you can find that Electric Angels original vinyl, most of them are cutouts, copies of it. But if you can find that one in good condition, I think it's worth a lot now. But we were one of the last bands, and it came out in '89. But then it just kind of went away, and we were all excited because we had this big CD packaging. It wasn't just a gel. It didn't come in back in those days. It came in a big, long, rectangular sort of packaging thing. I'm getting the look now. I'm getting the hook. Guess what? I'm getting the dinner hook, Vic.
From Bianca.
Yeah.
Can we do this again next week then? Can we get all of us on?
You know what? Let's leave off on this vinyl talk, or maybe even break it off into a show, because Dave R. and Franzi are working hard on their horror film show. Yeah. Thank you guys again so much for donating on this super chat thing. Wenches in the Trenches, you've been superstars. I know Troy Brewer was there donating, Ashley. Thank you all for doing that. It really is really awesome. Blown us away. It's very, very cool. But we are going to have to shut it down right now because I'm not getting the hook from Vic. I'm getting the hook from B, and that is a much stronger hook. So I gotta split. But I really appreciate everybody hanging out after these live stream shows that we do for the Q&A. It means the world to me. This team means the world to me because we're creating something really good with the System 12 guitar method. And hopefully you guys can check it out during the week. At least tell a friend if they want to start learning guitar the very next day to go to ryanroxie.com and just click on that Kickstarter campaign button. Dave R., thank you very much. Vic, Robby, Scotty, anything you guys want to say, go down the line. Dave, say parting words.
I just want to say, obviously, if anyone has any questions on the guitar, on the System 12 or anything like that, feel free to DM any of us and we'll do what we can. And thanks for watching.
Hey, Vic.
Check out the new Twitch channel and follow all of us on Instagram.
Do you got a logo for that, Vic?
No, I don't. There's no hard one.
Do you even have our Instagrams?
Robby, do you have anything to say?
It's pretty predictable what I'm going to say, but thanks so much for listening to the single, and for those who bought the EP, and keep listening on Spotify. Thank you.
And Scotty, now that you're writing all our coattails, do you have anything to say?
I'm just glad to be here.
As you should be.
We're glad you're here.
We're glad you're here.
Thank
We
you.
are
Thank
glad
you.
you're here.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you very much, everybody. If you didn't get on this week, I'll get you on next week for sure. But it'll be week 8 of the Sunday Livestream Sunday. But don't forget, next Tuesday, it'll be Livestream in the Trenches podcast with Michael Monroe as our special guest. So thank you very much, Michael Monroe. How about one more Twitch? Do you have anything on the Twitch logo?
I don't think
No. Okay, good. That's it for us. Until next time, this is the RGA saying enjoy the ride. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you soon. All right. That was funny.